It was an anchor with Univision. He joins us tonight. Enrique, thanks a lot for coming on. So there is actual chaos. I don't need to tell you. You cover the region. In Latin America, in Mexico, it's ongoing. Salvador, it's ongoing. Nicaragua, it's been going on for a little more than a year, about a year. And in Venezuela, it is boiling over. So Brookings says we could have 8 million refugees, which would come not simply to the United States, but to neighboring countries. But a lot of them would come here. A lot of them have come here. So why shouldn't we be taking steps to control our border in the face of a looming threat like that?
I think we have for the past half a century, Tucker. The problem here is not border security. The problem is that border enforcement has become the only strategy, not part of a more comprehensive, larger strategy in the U.S. We want to seal the border, but we're really suffocating the border by investing billions of dollars in making it one of the most, I would argue, the most guarded region in the entire world. Just, I mean, to take the data, the numbers, our security presence in the U.S.-Mexico border is similar to the one we keep between South and North Korea in terms of manpower. So I would argue that the border is as secure as it's ever been, and we're ready to try to, you know, yes.
Okay. I'm just laughing by the, I mean, look, this is cable news. We don't have an hour, but let me just say, if you're interested, if you're watching at home, look up the stats you just heard on Google, and you will see that they are invalid, to put it politely.
They can look up the kind of manpower we have at the border, you know, over 21,000 armed men, military, drones, etc.
Look, no one, I think, makes an argument against immigrants. I'm not making an argument against immigrants. I'm for immigrants. But we've got over 20 million in our country whose identities we can't ascertain because they're here illegally. So whatever we're doing is not working. But my point is about what could happen, not what's already happened. 8 million people could be displaced and moving north. If you had 100,000 people forming in Tijuana on the San Ysidro border, you couldn't control them. They would swarm the border. Like, that's a real thing. It's happened all over the world. It's happened in Latin America, which is why Brazil has militarized its border, and Guyana has. Are they racist for doing that? I mean, seriously.
They're actually taking Venezuelan refugees, Brazil, Colombia, all the neighboring countries, over or around 3 million since the humanitarian crisis really got worse in Venezuela. No, but you're saying 8 million people could flee Venezuela. 3 million people already have, and the vast majority of them are in neighboring countries.
And it's
all of them come to the US? That's really unlikely.
Okay, hold on. It's deeply destabilizing to the countries that border Venezuela, because mass migration always is destabilizing. It is a challenge. Doesn't mean the people are bad. Doesn't mean you don't sympathize. I would do the same thing. I get out of Venezuela today. I get it. But the bordering countries have a right to determine who comes in because it affects them. Look what's happened to Europe in the wake of the Syrian civil war. So in the face of this, which is happening right now, you and the other lunatics are telling us, oh, it's wrong. It's wrong to secure your border. Like, on what grounds are you saying that exactly?
No, I'm saying right now, I've always said this on your show, Tucker. We agree on this. The U.S. has every right to secure its border. Right. I just think we don't agree on this strategy. You want to keep spending billions of dollars in militarizing the border. You want to keep spending billions of dollars in trying to seal the border. I say let's spend more money on the root causes of immigration. Let's spend more money on trying to prepare for the humanitarian crisis we're facing, for the new reasons why people are migrating, like climate change, instead of just focusing on border security. Like, this is the magic solution.
Vesuvius of BS. I can't keep up here. Very quickly, let's just isolate one of the claims you just made, that we need to spend money on the root causes. So the root cause of what I think is imminent emigration from Venezuela here is the collapse of the Venezuelan government. What should we do? That's the root cause. What should we do about that exactly? Seriously.
Well, first of all, I think that, you know, an important contingent of Venezuelans have come here legally, with visas, with...
okay, but please don't dodge the question. You said we need to address the root problem. That's the root problem. The Maduro government is collapsing.
Well, finding a peaceful solution to the conflict in Venezuela is a good first step.
What would
Today,
that be?
President Maduro said...
Okay, but what can we do
negotiations. I know he has been manipulating and abusing negotiations and dialogue for over the past 5 years.
Should we send troops there?
Now I don't think a military intervention with a history of...
answer.
No, but look at the history of military interventions in the U.S. You're just talking about Central America right now, about Nicaragua and other countries where most of the refugees are coming from. And that has to do in large part with the history of U.S. intervention in Central America. You have to recognize that.
You're undercutting your own argument. You're saying the U.S. has to get involved in these Latin countries in order to prevent...
Not militarily, of course not. I don't think militarily.
We need to send them more money. We send them a lot of money, and it hasn't
point.
helped at all. Okay. So we need to send them more money, and then they'll stop coming here? Are you making that argument? How much will we have to send to keep them to stop coming
No,
here?
in the case, the reasons why people are fleeing from Venezuela are different from the reasons they're fleeing from
So what do you
countries
do
in
about
Central
this
America.
root cause? Why not just build a freaking wall?
But saying,
and
if
call
you
it
want
a
to talk
day?
about Venezuela, where, by the way, diplomats, U.S., American diplomats are today remaining behind despite grave danger without being paid, and that's, I think, truly heroic. But if you want to talk about Venezuela and the reasons why people are fleeing, maybe finding a peaceful solution to the conflict there would help. And having the U.S., which has played, I think, the Trump administration a very positive role in this sense, could
yeah, whatever. It's not our
part of that
country.
solution.
This is our country, and the prospect of being
But
invaded.
we live in an
by
interconnected
desperate
world, whether we
people.
like it or not. You can't remain isolated.
I actually don't like the idea that you could be invaded and you're not allowed to do anything about it. That seems like a kind of baseline.
Look how well
request.
multilateralism has worked in the case of Venezuela. All of the world is backing the U.S. on this. Maybe the Trump administration will now learn, hopefully, that it works when you're working with partners towards a common goal.
I'll get the last word for once. If the rest of the world is backing it, it's got to be bad for us. I think that's a kind of fair assumption.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Enrique,
where we
great to see
disagree the most.
You got
Thank
the
you,
last
Tucker.
word. Good job. Thank you. Well.